Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk more QI. This week's viewer request takes us all the way back to the very start of Series B. In fact, I think this might be the earliest episode of the show that I've ever seen. I'm not sure if I've seen anything from the very first series. I'm sure one day I'll get around to checking out the very first pilot, but to be honest, one of the things that tends to keep me away from the first few seasons is there aren't XL versions yet, and I like the extended format. I like a little more banter, and I find the cut down first airing versions just a little too compressed. I like letting things breathe a little bit. Nevertheless, this one's been recommended to me in particular. It's very much supposed to be worth checking out. I don't know who the guests are. All I know is it's called Blue. And we're going to see some very young version of people I'm probably quite familiar with. Certainly a very young Stephen Fry and a very young Alan Davies, because we're going back 20 years. So that'll be fun in and of itself. Plus those early 2000 fashions. Not a huge difference, but subtle. It's noticeable. You can definitely tell it's not today. Anyway, let's jump into it. This is episode 1 from Series B, and it's called Blue. It's also very much low res.
Welcome to QI. This is the show where everything is as bright as a new pin, and we avoid cliches like the plague. You won't hear me saying that our 4 players are champing at the bit and raring to go, not in a month of Sundays. So without further ado, Bill Bailey.
Nice.
Sean Locke.
Nice.
Brand.
Oh.
Alan Davies. All of our buzzers are blue. Bill goes...
Aww. Okay.
It's a genuine recording.
You all have sweeties, and to help you get into a primary mood, a range of bright colours.
Not allowed to call them Smarties? Come on.
What colour was the sky in ancient Greece?
Blue, if that picture's anything.
I should have told you that it was ancient Greece, and I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What we call blue, they call something else.
Well, no, the ancient Greeks didn't call anything blue.
They didn't look up ever. No word for blue. What do they say? The sky.
Bronze.
Bronze?
Yes, they called it the bronze. Homer called it
Really?
bronze
But
colour.
no time for these Greeks.
And yet without them you wouldn't be here.
Oh, that's so rubbish. You say this every week.
Harmony, democracy, justice...
That's got nothing to do with the people shagging for decades ending up with me.
There wouldn't be television. Without television, you are nothing. I know that better than anyone.
There wouldn't be a word for television.
Bronze
It's
vision.
a word that offends a lot of classicists because it's both Latin and Greek. It's a hybrid word.
They're so touchy, aren't they?
They are.
But if there was no Greek,
Heaven
like the
forbid.
Saxon word for television be something like
Well, it would be
proxy light.
We know what they are because the German, it would be Fernsehen.
Oh, yeah.
I would be here without the ancient Greeks.
Is
I
that...
wonder how many Welsh words there are for colours, Alan.
Unfortunately, because of you English people destroying our natural culture and heritage, I don't know our own language.
I must apologise.
Cruel imperial invader. My great-grandfather was forced to flee Cardiff and set up a restaurant in the East End.
There is no Welsh word for blue.
Oh, well, I'm sure there
There
is.
isn't.
There is.
There is
You
no
just can't
Welsh-
say it.
There is.
It's got 4 G's and 7 W's in it.
They used to believe, some Darwinians believed, that the Greeks genuinely, that's to say Greeks as ancient as Homer, who was a very, very long time before even the ancient Greeks that you and I talk about every day. They actually believed that they hadn't developed a colour sense in the eye, but it's now essentially perceived that they didn't really find any use for calling things by different colours so much as they did as function. Yes, darling. Am I boring you?
Losing the will to live.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's just an excerpt from a Bronze movie, I think.
Homer regarded wine, the sea, and sheep as all being the same colour, which is red. To us, colours are so obvious that this seems peculiar, but colour is just one way of describing tones. What does a rainbow look like from the other side?
You can't see it.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
Just slightly... It's nice. But it's
not
not
quite
as...
the same.
I'd rather be on the proper side, but it's all right.
But your first answer was correct, for which you will get
You
some
can only
points.
see it from
From the side that you're on.
Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't know it's there.
No, there is a very particular...
No, the sun has to be sort of behind you at about a 45-degree angle either side.
And the sun has to be behind you.
Yeah.
And it can only happen at an angle of 42 degrees, which is why it's in a...
Okay, 42, not 45.
I can sing a rainbow.
There's loads of different ones, wasn't there? Grey and I could sing a woodlouse. You know.
In Estonia, they believe that if you point at a rainbow, your finger will fall off.
Oh, for God's sake.
I know.
Estonians aren't stupid people, are they?
They aren't. You say.
They're very stumpy, though.
Yeah.
Incidentally, what do you know about indigo?
Blue, isn't it?
What's
It's the
it-
colour of...
Silence.
No.
It's the colour of audacity.
Isn't it a fertility thing?
In what sense would it be a fertility thing?
Doesn't it come up on women's legs in circles when they're ready?
Are we thinking of impetigo?
No.
Oh, why take the piss out of Newcastle?
They haven't got any toilets. They're so hard, they can hold it in till they go on holiday.
Does Newcastle have a leather industry? Because urine's definitely an ingredient in leather curing and dyeing.
Newcastle was a major exporter of piss. What does urine contain?
Ammonia.
Uric acid.
good.
Some sort of
ammonia.
infection thing. If a jellyfish stings you, you've got to pee on your leg.
Yes.
A dying.
Ammonia is
So
a dye
ammonia was
fixative, isn't it?
used in the dyeing industry.
Do you think you could weed... Does anyone ever weed into their own mouth?
You can be certain people have done. I've seen babies do that. It's very funny. But
We used to have a toilet at school, and there was a urine up to it there, and then wall, and then a window. And my friend Danny, the squirt, could wee out of the window. Wow.
You know, the reason that policemen's uniforms used to be such a rich and impressive hue was that they had been whittled on by Geordies, ultimately. When a food manufacturer wants to colour food red, he uses... it's food additive. It's his E120 colourant. My question is, what is E120 made from?
A beetle of some sort.
Cochineal, though.
It's rather unfair of us, because you're almost right. It's actually a bug, not a beetle.
Oh, right. Well...
What's the difference in a bug and a beetle, then? Bugs suck things.
We covered it last year. Well done, you did remember. 5 points for remembering.
What do beetles do?
They don't suck. You give them a drink with a straw, and they look at you like, yeah. Not a bug, all right?
It's a specific scientific word. It has piercing mouth parts.
Oh,
in case
how
you-
lovely.
Mandibles.
Yes, yes, mandibles.
Right.
You answered to that like it was your nickname. Mandibles, you went, yes.
This is his nickname at school.
Mandibles fry.
Cochineal.
Cochineal, yes, you can get some points
Okay.
back for that, of course.
I'm not sure if I've ever actually heard that word said out loud.
It takes about 70,000 of them to make 1 pound of cochineal. E122, which we now use, except in Smarties. In Smarties, you're still eating the crushed,
I'm eating crushed
bugs. Yeah, with the red ones. But E122 is very bad if you have an allergy to
The
aspirin.
vegan's not a fan.
Changed my mind. I think I prefer green.
Oh, well, there you are.
When did people think these foods are just not the right colour? I need a bit more pizzazz in my...
You know, you're pounding maize in Mexico, and a few of these beetles that cause it,
Accidentally
and while
fall
you're
in.
pounding it, it goes all a rather beautiful pink colour.
Wait a minute.
And your husband says, I like this new maize cake, this pink polenta.
They didn't start like crushing animals and slowly work their way down to beetles. They're like crushing a squirrel. No, that's no good, that colour.
No, that you're getting red every time.
Also, they didn't say, I love this pink polenta. They said, the pink polenta, I love it. I want some more pink polenta.
So you think this happened after the Spanish colonisation of Mexico?
We got you, that was a good one. Hats off.
Are you telling me the Incas taught like Oxbridge graduates?
It's really-
I'm just going up to finish off Machu Picchu.
Those are the Incas, not the
It
Aztecs.
was really the Aztecs we were concerned with. In either case,
You ever felt like your weapon's not big enough, John?
from bugs, 2 beetles.
Lovely big polenta.
Sure. Beetle fanciers, as you probably know, are called...
Coleopterists.
Very good, coleopterists.
Whoa.
I'll give you 5 points.
Well, thank you very much.
Press him on how the hell he knows that.
Yeah.
In Alan's world, knowing something is a kind of freakish, weird...
Welcome to my world of knowing. A wonderful world of looking up things in books. Because when I was a kid, I collected butterflies. I was a lepidopterist, not a leopard collector, as you may have thought.
Were you a lepidopterist as well?
I did do a bit of bug hunting, yes.
I can see you running along with a big net like that.
Tarquin, I've got one. A flowing toga and a big net. Oh. I was a philatelist.
Were you?
Yeah.
Is there a special word for someone who did metal work?
A welder.
Smith. Or a metallurgist.
Yeah, loser, we call him.
How long is it since anyone discovered a new type of beetle?
3 minutes.
8 seconds.
700 years.
No.
Look, no one is forcing you to play this game.
It's in supreme irony that moths got into the collection and ate them all.
It's about an hour. There may be as many as 10 million different species of beetle. 2/3 of all insects are beetles. But even more, if you put all examples of plants and animal species in a row, every 5th one would be a beetle. Which is the odd one out of these 3? A Ptiliidae beetle, a camel, or the Sultan of Brunei?
What? Nope.
Well, I don't want to show off.
Well, I know the Sultan of Brunei. He can afford to pay pop stars to dance around in their knickers.
Now, what do rich people have in common with camels?
The ability to sustain water in their humps.
The inability...
They're f***ing miserable all the time.
What can they not do?
Pass through the eye of a
Go
needle.
to heaven.
Pass through the eye of a needle. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle.
Same thing.
Biblical here.
Yes, it is.
So the point is, this little beetle is so small it can literally go through the eye of a needle. We have a sample of the second biggest one. This is the Hercules beetle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Finally, we plunge into the land that knowledge forgot. Davisland, the place we call general ignorance. So,
Davisland? Ouch.
what rhymes with orange?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's a setup if ever there was one.
Can you think of any words that might rhyme with it?
Orange.
Wind.
Orange would rhyme with it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there is such a thing as borange. It's terribly close, because there's Blorange.
Glory.
It's a place.
Where?
Yes, it is. It is. It overlooks Abergavenny. It has a famous car park.
A famous car park.
I'm sure that Richard Whiteley on Countdown said that nothing rhymes with orange.
He may well have done, but we're here to explode the myths of the
Richard
Whiteleys.
Load Richard Whiteley. I saw him interviewing 2 bluebell dancers once.
Really?
I thought he was going to have a coronary.
Could I have 2 from the top?
Very good. My prep school tailors were called Gorringe, funnily enough.
Really?
We get our uniforms made, yeah.
And then a tailor. Were you born in the 1850s? I shall measure up, young sir, with shorts and cap.
Particular outfitter, which was a tailoring shop, an outfit, school outfit called Gorringe.
Which side does young sir dress on?
Oh, heavens, why did I even mention that? That's
You want to get measured up for sure?
Lord!
Would Sir like to wear a cravat on the cross-country run?
Oh, you're all such beasts.
I suggest a cover band for geography.
I say, you rather like this pink polenta.
What colour is the planet Mars?
It's red.
Joe's just throwing herself in front of all the buses today.
Very boring brown colour.
Why are we going there? What's the fucking point?
You are just unbelievable.
Wind him up. Wind him up.
Refused to rise to debate.
Too late.
What prevented Henry VIII from marrying Lord Pembroke?
Lady Pembroke.
Very good. Yeah.
Because gay marriages were illegal.
Yeah.
No, the fact is he actually did marry Lord Pembroke, eventually.
He married Lord Pembroke.
Yes, he did. Pembroke was certainly a lady, but absolutely, it was Anne Boleyn, in fact.
She disguised herself as a man to sneak into the king's chamber.
No, she was just very miffed at not being able to marry.
You sound like you're in a school play, then. You're supposed to be an actor.
Have you never seen Jonathan Creek? No. Anne Boleyn was very annoyed, so to shut her up, he offered her a title, and first he offered an ordinary title. He said, no, I want a proper title. So he gave her the Marquisate of Pembroke. But then eventually he did overcome it and separated from Rome and married Anne Boleyn, and then cut her head off, of course. We're all mammals. We come in a wide variety of colours: white rhinos, black panthers, brown bears,
Whales.
red kangaroos, blue whales. Name a green mammal.
Frog.
Sloth.
Now name a green mammal.
Sloths have algae in their fur.
Cow.
Budgie.
Now name a green mammal.
A rotten badger.
Excellent. There are none.
Chameleon. Is that a mammal?
Chameleon's a lizard.
A really, really jealous shrew.
No, there are none. There is a sloth that looks green, but it's actually the algae that grow in its fur. But that's the only
Well,
one
because
that
it's
might-
so slow-moving that moss grows over it.
so much a sloth.
The rolling sloth gathers no moss.
Why wouldn't an ancient Greek baker mind if you told him where he could stick his baguette?
Because they were a bit like that. You know what I mean? I think you all know. I'm not going to say it.
As a pleasuring device?
A bread dildo.
Dildo. A bread dildo is the right answer.
You know that most women would have gone for the eating option.
Feels like a crusty option.
It's only discovered in 1987, actually. It's a very recent discovery.
Who discovered it?
It was a Greek baker frozen in a glacier.
No, he's going like that. You're going...
Just in last fourth place, just with minus 22 is Alan Davies. But a brilliant performance, and we thank you for it. With minus 20 is Joe Brand.
I'm as shocked as Joe.
Plus 7 is Bill. But way out in front with 17 is Sean Loughlin.
17! Dang. That's going to hurt his reputation. Well, we got the full credits. No announcements of upcoming shows or anything. I love it when everybody gangs up on Steven, mostly because I love the way Steven reacts when he gets embarrassed. It's really lovely, and it's inevitably because of his poshness, his upbringing. But I don't know. It's super endearing. I love it every time, and I'm glad to see that it's sort of been a tradition from the early days of the show. Might I suggest the cummerbund for geography? I love it. I think that's brilliant. I'm a little surprised at how actively hard Steven is on Alan in these early episodes, and it's a little bit jarring compared to later seasons. I mean, sure, Alan's supposed to be there as the whipping boy a little bit, but it seems very heavy, not heavy-handed, but very frequent in these early episodes in particular. So yeah, that's certainly noticeable. But it also seems like Alan is really playing into it, although I like that he's winding Steven up with some of this stuff too. It is interesting seeing how the dynamics between Alan and the host evolve over the series, that's for sure. I will admit that for about 5 minutes during this watch, I was racking my mind trying to think what they would actually call ground maize in Mexico, because it's definitely not polenta. Polenta is the Italian term. Grits is the American term. Yeah, I'm not sure what it would be. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments, but polenta's wrong. I know that much. But now I want to try pink polenta. You know, just throw some cochineal beetles in there and let's spruce it up a little bit. Anyway, thank you guys so much for recommending this episode. It was a ton of fun. I wish I got the XL version. I wish there was an XL version for me to get, because I would have happily taken another 15 minutes of that. If there's a particular episode that you'd love me to react to, please let me know in the comments down below. I do have a list. I am working my way through it, and I will get to yours if I haven't yet already. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.